fucking amazing, man. I always wanted to do an Inktober. Inktober is where you basically make art each day of October with inks only. So you have a brush pen, you have just a normal black pen, anything of that sort, and usually you follow a list of prompts, but you don't have to, and you post that online. Real inks were way too scary though, so the next best thing I found was an ink brush in Procreate. This is it. I really love how this one behaves, giving you a super thin line, but then also a pretty thick one, simply by pressing more. There's a lot of control here, and since I don't like going through the settings too much or changing brushes all the time, this one felt right. And so I began my quest, first day of October, and just started. I've done a lot of different art over the years in terms of style and subject matter, but I've never really drawn animals much or practiced them. I had no idea how the back legs of a deer work, or how to draw the paws, or where to place ears on a fox. For the record, I still don't. The first days went super well. Like, I really had fun doing it, I was off to a great start, and I could really envision myself doing this for the rest of the month. And that's already, I think, my first big takeaway here is that I have to put myself into a situation where I really enjoy what I'm doing. That's so key. Trying to explore and draw animals is something I really wanted to delve deeper into. And I found that these drawings don't need to be realistic for me. The second one was really out there. But hey, that's just me exploring. I figured I might even learn more by translating what I observe into my own style, sort of. Just so it has been through my filter and I understand it on a level where I know how to replicate it, if that makes sense. Don't worry, I'm not going to bore you with each of the 31 drawing videos, but these first ones were really special for me. I learned that I was able to start and finish a piece of art fairly quickly. I learned to have fun doing it, and I learned that when I really cared about the drawing, it turned out way better. Sort of investing your emotions and getting attached to your drawing seemed to make for a way better drawing, even though that might sound wrong at first. But more on that later. As you might have noticed, I'm still starting out every drawing in a sketchbook and importing the sketch into Procreate. I'm still rusty with the digital medium right now, and doing a sketch traditionally feels a lot nicer to me. I wanted to take a short moment to talk about this piece for a second. It's a little wonky and the composition is weird and off balance, I would say, but during the drawing, like I said, I got so invested into the symbolism and what this drawing means to me that it's still one of my favorite things I have ever created. And it really dictated where this month's drawing would go from here. I love how it brings a lot of things together. How there's deep love and care portrayed, which paints a very romantic picture, but then there's also this memento mori situation, sadness, maybe even betrayal and over-attachment. But then there's new purpose, new life springing forth from that, and change happening. A letting go of what once was and coming to terms with the ever-changing nature of things. This is how crazy I went over the symbolism in this piece. Damn! I love that one so much. But yeah, I think it helped me so much to develop this intrinsic motivation for these drawings each day. Some days were tougher for sure. For the most part, because there was less time available. I had started to go bouldering again, and all in all, there were now even less hours each day. With less time, it was hard to continuously come up with ideas, to really focus, and to make myself care. The energy was just not there on some days. And when I know I could do better, I just feel worse. The positive effects of making a drawing can just as easily be a mood killer for me. So this next takeaway is crucial. It's totally okay if you're just copying from images. Even from a single image. If that's what it takes. Being able to get yourself interested and motivated to draw is tough some days. Whatever you need to do to get yourself to draw just a little bit that day, do it. As long as I was sitting down to draw, I was improving. I was keeping up my momentum. I was going somewhere. Not being harsh and not too demanding on myself on those days was the key. The days went by and I started to find my rhythm. I also started to see potential everywhere. Things I wanted to do, areas where I wanted to spend more time, and the ink brush on the iPad started to inspire me less and less. I had more mediums to check out. There was more art I wanted to make. I had just this little 1 hour, 2 hour window each day. After those first initial 2 weeks, that just was not working for me anymore. There was so much energy towards other things in art, and I don't think it makes sense to stifle that energy or stifle your creativity in that way. Just because you set out to do something doesn't mean you have to stick to the plan. That would be stupid, right? And so for me here, it was a good decision, I think, to change it up. I had started to color my ink sketches digitally with these flat colors. And now in my last video, doing the wall in my room with acrylic paint, I really wanted to delve deeper into that medium and just explore that more. So I thought, hey, this is an easy transfer over, right? I could just use the same workflow, and instead of doing it digitally, I could do a traditional piece, and it would probably look the same, sort of, and work out the same. So I really wanted to explore that. There was just so much joy and energy in this that I couldn't not do it. I wanted to grow, wanted to test things out, wanted to play. So I took a piece that I had done the day before and figured this was basically the easiest way to start out with the acrylic painting. The heavy lifting was already done, the painting was there, I liked it, I could focus on the medium entirely, and I already knew I would just like the result if I didn't mess it up too much. Of course, I messed it up. I mixed too little color and couldn't match the tone again. My brushes weren't small enough for the details I needed to paint, and the ink I used for the black lines on top wasn't smudge-proof. At least not smudge-proof enough for my sweaty hands, so I had to be crazy careful to not ruin the piece, aka not lean on it with my hand at all. But it was still fun, and I learned so much doing this. The following day, I decided to paint the same painting again, but somewhat bigger this time. I got some spray paints, and I decided I was going to go out and use them on a wall, and using the same logic as before, having done the painting before, I could just focus on this new medium entirely and not worry about the painting side of things. It was a truly beautiful autumn day in Berlin, and it made me realize how good of a decision this has been. Ditching the ink brush on the iPad for this instead. Are you kidding me? I felt like a child having just the best time on this wall. I only realized halfway through that I had accidentally mirrored the piece, and I was doing it the other way around, but it didn't matter. Can control was hard, as well as reaching the top of my painting. But as time went on, it all just came together and it felt so good. Again, so many learnings on this one, but the main takeaway remains. Doing the things that I'm excited about. Going where the energy is, not doing something for the sake of just doing it. So I'm just walking away from my first ever street art wall I painted back there in one of these free walls here in Berlin. And I feel like $1 million, man. Feels amazing. I don't even want to leave type of shit. I just want to be there, hang out, look at it, and have a drink or anything. It's feels wrong to now just leave. And yeah, covered up in paint, and yeah, it's been fucking amazing, man. The way I see it, the iPad and the ink brush, and the way I used to do things in the beginning of the month, it's like a new tool I've gained now. Whenever I want to draw digitally or, finish something quickly in one sitting, for example, I can just do that now. But for the majority of the remaining month, I chose to use my blue pencil and my sketchbook. There was always something special to me about the blue colored pencil. Sketches I did with it turned out softer, which is not describing it very well, but it's the best word that comes to my mind. Coming back to what I said before about caring for my drawing, by investing my emotions into it, let me briefly talk you through this piece. I felt like I had unlocked something, like I found the puzzle piece to something I was looking for a long time. And I wanted to illustrate that. As I sketched this, I realized that there were still lots of puzzle pieces missing to the whole, but that I already filled in some gaps here and there as well. The blue pencil can be very light, even if you're heavy-handed like me, so I'm able to adjust things as I go. And as I keep thinking and reflecting about life in that way, I can add the little bits and pieces to the drawings that I make. Not every drawing turned out super deep and personal, but I cherish each one of them in a way that I seldom do my digital pieces. No surprise then that I kept doing it every day. Even though I was crazy busy, especially towards the end of the month, I always made time for them, and this kind of really showed me what I'm capable of in that regard. When I really want to do something, I usually am able to find the time to do it. I don't make up excuses like I normally do with many things, and I'm not tired late at night when logically I really should be. I started to get into a very cool mind space with these sketches here, and just like with the puzzle piece drawing, I felt like I was unlocking something or finding something here. It went like this. I focused on drawing something that I feel, or draw a feeling that I'm associated with right now. When I gave a drawing meaning in that way, I started to care for it, and when that happened, I started to really want to do a good job at it. And that sort of spiral is just very satisfying, because when a drawing is really meaningful to you, it starts to give you a lot of energy back. I can see a part of myself in each of these drawings that I made, and that's so cool. I almost had the feeling that, like, oh, that's how you make art. And when I look at these drawings now, for me, they have something that most other drawings of me don't have. Like, I discovered a magic trick to doing personal art that I enjoy. There's a level of honesty, openness, and love here too when I sketch like this. That is really interesting as well. And I can't judge these on the level I used to judge my art in the past. I have a hard time saying this is badly done or this is badly rendered. Of course it can be off, like sometimes the leg is way longer on one side than on the other side and stuff like that, but I'm not judging these drawings based on that. I'm judging the drawings more based on how I felt and how much they portray the feeling that I wanted to portray, you know? It's like a different kind of judging that happened in, you know, compared to all my other art I used to do, where I focused mainly on being more realistic. I can't judge these on the same terms, and so I cannot say this is bad art. And so I keep doing him and not having this bad feeling in the back of my mind, where I basically say, I don't like this because of this, this, and that. You know, it's not that obvious to me. There's the obvious things are, I like this one because of this, this, and that. So there's a lot of positivity here when I look at these, and I love that. That is so cool. So after this small art marathon over the last month, there are some of my key takeaways that I wrote down. I talked about most of them in the video, I think, but if you want to, you can pause it right here or take a screenshot. So the whole thing has been mostly positive, I have to say. I mean, some mood swings here and there for sure, some bad days, some tough days, but all in all, just, yeah, good, cool drawings that came out of this, good feelings, and this sort of newfound appreciation, not only for myself, but for my art, for drawing, and for art in general, really. That's been really, really nice, yeah. And yeah, props to everyone who ever did an Inktober, like completely from start to finish. Like maybe holy moly, like maybe one day I'm gonna be able to do that. But for now, I'm actually really happy with where I'm at and where this has gotten me. So I'm okay. I'm okay. Thank you so much for listening, for watching, for being here. This really means a lot to me. And yeah, I really hope you have gotten something out of this. And if so, I would love to see you in the next video.